we shall hold our presidential primaries.
The announcement of an early Congress by the General Secretary of the MPP that have got some party members fuming over the decision. Tonight, we hear from some party people unhappy with this decision. Also coming up.
And one of the major items that has been canvassed is the election of DCs. There's no doubt that Ghanaians want their DCs elected.
President John Dramani Mahama gives strongest indication yet over the election of MMDCs across the country. He says there's a strong push in the constitutional amendment process. And later,
if you are strategically planning that a Supreme Court nominee should not go through this thing, so be it.
I cannot be intimidated by you. I'm a man with indomitable spirit. I still rule that the question has been asked.
Chairman of Appointment Committee Bernard Ahafo and his ranking member Alexander Penyo Martin clash again over the vetting of a Supreme Court nominee. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Later coming up in business.
Producer inflation dips to 10.2% in May, lowest since 2023. We'll tell you more.
Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country, around the globe. We are on citinewsroom.com. Talking about affiliates, if you're in the Upper West region, you can hear us on Tumpani Radio 88.5 FM in Nadoli, as well as Jirakba 96.1 FM. In the Upper East region, you can hear us on Rekas 92.1 FM in Bongo. In the Northern region, North Star Radio 92.1 FM in Tamale. In the Northeast region, Nobia 98.1 FM. In the Western region, hear us on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takrady. In the Ashanti region, you can hear us on Focus 94.3 FM, as well as Orange 107.9 FM, all in Kumasi. In the Volta region, you can hear us on Sela Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala and Holy FM 98.5 FM in Aflao. In the Savannah region, you can hear us on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damango. You can also send us your text messages and WhatsApp message on this number 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Now, the New Patriotic Party, the opposition New Patriotic Party indeed, was yesterday held a National Executive Committee meeting and a National Council meeting to discuss issues pertaining to their party's Congress and the special delegate conference expected to take place in July this year. The party has set a date. The party says between the 18th and the 20th of July 2025, which is next month, at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, the party will hold the annual National Delegate Conference to look at some amendments the party intends to take in its constitution. Another issue that also came up is the election of a flag bearer for the 2028 general election, an issue that has dominated radio discussion across the country. The party's general secretary announced that the party National Executive Committee and the National Council have decided to hold the presidential primaries to elect a presidential candidate for the 2028 general election on Saturday, 31st of January 2026. Let's hear the general secretary of the MPP.
Amendment Committee chaired by Mr. Frank Davis, or lawyer Frank Davis, of our electoral college. Indeed, the committee spoke about it. And again, that decision as to the number of expansion or the expansion level will be determined at the delegate conference scheduled to take place in July. The committee also spoke about the time for our presidential primaries. And again, the committee agreed that that decision does not warrant amendment of our constitution. But in light of the spirit and letter of Article 13 of the MPP constitution, that power is clothed with National Council to make that decision. And National Council today also made the decision that the date for our presidential primaries is set for January 31st, 2026. That will be the date that we shall hold our presidential primaries. Because there's going to be a proposal or a motion for amendment for our constitution, a committee or what we refer to as a planning committee, has been put in place by National Council to prepare and also implement directive that has been given to them for us to have a successful delegate conference to amend our constitution, the provision that has to be amended. A chairman for the committee is Honorable Joseph Osei Owusu, former Member of Parliament for Bekwai, as chairman. Nana Boakye, the national organizer, is the vice chairman for the committee. Honorable Jerry Ahmed, second deputy whip, minority whip, is also a member of the committee. The Greater Accra Regional Chairman Divine Ogohom Otu, is also a member of the committee. The Deputy General Secretary Haruna Mohammed is the secretary to the planning committee. Honorable Abna Osei Asare is also a member of the committee. The National Treasurer, Dr. Charles Dramina, is a member of the committee. The Deputy National Women Organizer, Madam Safia Muhammad, is a member of the committee. And Mustafa Salam, the National Youth Organizer, or Salam Mustafa, is also a member of the planning committee. So it's a 9-member committee to see to the planning of the delegate conference that is scheduled for July 19th.
You were the General Secretary of the MPP, Justin Frimpong Kodia. Let's go into the phone line and speak to Nana Boakye. He's the national organizer of the MPP. Nana Boakye, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, Sammy.
First of all, there are a number of issues discussed at this particular meeting held yesterday, but we'll take it one after the other. But the one dominating media discussion is the decision of the party to elect a flag bearer next year, January 31st, which is an early Congress, and it deviates from the party's tradition of electing from the base before the top, coming to the top. First of all, what went into the decision to start the election process from the top rather instead of down?
Thank you very much. I think that this was captured as part of the recommendations from the Frank Davis Committee, and from their report they had given us the rationale. What they said, which council also adopted, was the fact that over the years we've spent a lot of energy on internal elections. And after every internal election, it will leave the party structures bruised. And then we will have a divided front. There will be so many chaos. For instance, if you start from the polling station, everybody who has interest at the polling station elections will quickly go there. And then there will be factions at the polling station, and this same thing will come up to the electoral area level, and then you get to the constituency. For instance, the last electionary cycle, which was from the year 2021 to 2024, we spent 3 years on internal elections. So now, in the wisdom of the Constitutional Amendment Committee, they proposed that we start the presidential primaries first. We elect presidential candidate. The moment you elect a presidential candidate, the entire party will rally around that person. You don't have any rancor at the polling station. There is no rush to cause any problems there, or to even have your own teams there, or to go and create any problem at the polling station. So if you have your running mate, then don't forget that we are in opposition. In fact, even our constitution, Article 13, is quite clear. That gives even National Council the mandate that we need to elect our presidential candidate not later than 24 months before the elections. So we are even within the time. We can even elect our presidential candidate today. But there's also a constitutional provision that the moment you kickstart the process, you need to give 6 months notice before the date of the elections. So clearly there are also processes captured in the Constitution to be followed. But in the wisdom of the Constitutional Amendment Committee, this will help the party. It will reduce drastically the tension, the animosity, the problems we go through all the time. And council also bought into the rationale behind holding or electing the presidential candidate first, and then also early. So council also set 31st January for the election of the presidential candidate, and then also we start the elections with the presidential candidate. So that was the main rationale.
The main core of the delegates, which is the polling station executive, they form the majority. I'm reliably informed that their tenure is expected to expire in December. If their tenure should expire in December, on what basis would they be electing the flag bearer in January when their tenure has expired?
Oh, we have had, a lot of convention where, because of maybe transitional processes arising as a result of a constitutional amendment, we've extended the tenure of maybe a group of delegates or some delegates by some few months or even a year. We've done it before. Council has that right. So even if what you are saying is a case, but I know that it's supposed to be in January. So because the last polling station elections we had, the tenure of office will be ending of January. But even given so, we have in our own rules that National Council can vary this particular provision.
Is it a case that the election of a flag bearer is always the issue that brings about disunity in the party? So in order to cure this mischief, let's elect that flag bearer or presidential candidate first.
Same, I've been national youth organizer before. I've been national organizer. I'm still the national organizer. Look, that is the main cause. In fact, as we speak, you can recount the many issues, internal frictions we've had, series of them. You can mention about 3 or 4, and then you know that it is as a result of presidential primaries. Mention any of them. Any of them. In fact, even yesterday, Council even cautioned 2 members of the party. Council cautioned the Bono regional chairman and then also Ernesto Usubempa. And these 2 party leaders, if you go into what they said, clearly it is linked to presidential primaries. In recent times, find out for yourself. Whatever is happening, go on social media, check from our people. You have this group of people supporting this presidential candidate. In fact, at the time when this government had even introduced this Dumso levy, at the time when we are having Western cases of even Galamsey, that is not what even the party base, that is not what even they are interested in. They are interested in who becomes the presidential candidate and who I'm supporting and why I need to denigrate this person. And it's weakening the party's spirit. Every form of infighting, internal wranglings, every form of it, you will link it to the presidential primaries coming up. So, in the wisdom of the Amendment Committee, why don't you have it? Get it done so that at least the entire party will know that we are focused. And then you will have the presidential candidate who would have ample time to unite the party, to rally the party around him. Look, he will not have interest in who becomes the polling station chairman. He will not have interest in who becomes the constituency chairman.
That argument has come in. I've heard people make the argument that if you elect a flag bearer, he would then determine who becomes regional chairman, who becomes hold on. I heard people say, that's why I'm posing that question to you.
Okay.
I've heard people say that if you elect a flag bearer, the power of the party will be centered around him or her. That person may have an influence who becomes regional chairman, may have an influence who becomes national chairman, may have an influence who becomes regional secretary or regional organizer or national general secretary or national chairman or even parliamentary candidates. Because if the flag bearer is not in good terms with a particular candidate, because he wields power within the party, can say that no, I don't like this person, I prefer this person rather. So that has been the counter argument over this.
That counter argument for me is flawed. Look, the presidential candidate, how would a presidential candidate weigh his influence on getting a polling station chairman elected, constituency chairman elected, regional chairman elected, more than the person becoming a president? You need everybody on board. Now, the issue is that if you do it the other way around, now we don't have a presidential candidate. The moment you announce a timetable for a polling station elections, every person who is interested in the presidential primaries will run quickly to the polling station, form teams. In fact, at all levels. And by the time they finish the election, the party is fractured. The party is bruised. So any responsible presidential candidate elected will need everybody behind him to win the elections. So I do not think that presidential candidate, his interest will be causing problems in the region, will be causing problems in the constituency, will be causing problems at the polling station, which is your base. That is your base. Look, the presidential candidate cannot tour the entire country by the time we are even having the next elections. He is going to rely on the structures. That is the polling station, electoral area, constituency, region, national, manage the campaign. So no serious presidential candidate elected would want to foment trouble and cause the party structures to be in disarray, which is going to go against you. In fact, the reasons why we are even expanding the electoral college to add former MMDCs, former constituency executives, former MPs, former regional executives, former national executives, is the fact that anytime any of these personalities serve and they are no more with the party's leadership, it looks like the party neglects them and they feel not part of the system and culminate into apathy. So I do not think that the presidential candidate elected is going to foment trouble, going to create teams. For what? No, he is going to allow the structures to work. So, yes, that argument, anybody at all can make it, but I'm saying that there's a superior point. The person who becomes a presidential candidate, his main motive will be to rally the party, unite the party behind him. So make sure that there is free, fair, transparent elections so that anybody at all who loses or who wins will rally behind you as a presidential candidate. But if your motive is that, yes, I've become a presidential candidate, so I'm going to determine who becomes the national chairman, and then by so doing, you cause problems, you cause disaffection, you structure the party, you cannot win the elections. I do not think that the presidential candidate who will be elected will be interested in rather causing problems for the party than rather rallying the party behind him to win the elections. Question:
how do you react to people who say that the MPP is too much in a hurry for 2028 election? Because hold on. You are just coming back from election 2024. The party performed poorly. Instead of the party to sit down and reflect and see where things went wrong, the party is rather focused on election 2028, which is some years ahead. Hello, Nana B. Hello, Nana Boakye. I'm afraid we lost Nana Boakye on the telephone. He's the national organizer of the MPP, and we are talking to you about the MPP's decision to, hold an early congress, which I'm sure by now you are aware. The party has decided to elect a presidential candidate on the 31st, Saturday, 31st of January 2026. And the party at a National Executive Committee and National Council meeting yesterday agreed that the party will elect a flag bearer first before holding other internal elections. Per the MPP, structure, they're supposed to have polling station executive election, electoral area coordinators, constituency officers, regional officers, and national officers before the election of a flag bearer. But this time the party is doing a different thing. It wants to elect the flag bearer first, because the party believes that it is what causes a lot of disunity within the party. And so if the party is able to elect a flag bearer first ahead of the 2028 general election, it will bring some form of peace within the party before the party can concentrate on electing other officers within the party. Let's read some of your text messages while my producer tried to raise Nana Boakye on the telephone line. I've got some few questions to ask him before we let him go. The MPP has set itself for explosion soon. Some people will elect the flag bearer, but most of them will not survive their position in the lead up to the campaign. There will be radical change in leadership at all levels. So let them rush to elect a presidential candidate. Time will tell. This is coming from Prof in Tema. Al Hassan from New South says the decision of the MPP to hold the presidential primary election first before other election is well-calculated strategy to favor Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia to win the election. Alex Kofi from Adenta Commando says, I hope this ad hoc committee or ad hoc decision to elect MPP presidential candidate for 2028 election will not fall flat in another abysmal reduction in parliamentary seats again. Mawisi from the Volta region says, the MPP's decision to hold a delegates congress in January 31st, 2026 won't save them from losing the upcoming election. The treatment given to Ghanaians remains fresh in their minds, and their continued action will be punished at the poll. Another one from Injo Bright from Nottinghamshire in the United Kingdom says, MPP has decided to prioritize election of leaders instead of building a strong party. After this, they will start promising to burn themselves and cut off their they are wasting our time. Aziz Inwa, final one from Aziz Inwa says, MPP can organize their flag bearer election next month, yet they will lose the 2028 elections because the mess and the agony they subjected Ghanaians into in the last 8 years was unprecedented, and certainly they must pay for the price by staying in opposition for 16 years. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
From back in the day, when Afro hair was trending and children had to queue to play Kojo's video game, Fun Milk was always irresistible. Today, it's an after-school source of refreshment. For you stuck in traffic and for us looking to cool off under the sun, the invitation is always that sound. So, whatever your choice, Fun Milk quality products keeps you cool and refreshed. Fun Milk triggers so much fun and excitement with just a blast of a horn. Fun Milk, spreading joy to everyone. This advert is FDA approved.
Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more Super. And the Polytank, we did Polytank. Papa no no, 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 Ankasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
Oh, jump on now. Go, go. Google me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Riafi, and tonight I'm here with Eno Safu, who has some other stories.
President John Dramani Mahama has revealed that future metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives may no longer be appointed, but rather elected in line with growing public demand for greater accountability in local governance. Addressing participants at an orientation and training program organized for MMDCEs, the president noted that the current system of appointing MMDCEs could soon be replaced depending on the outcome of the work of the Constitution Review Committee. According to him, one of the key recommendations emerging from the committee's nationwide consultations is the introduction of elections for MMDCEs.
Therefore, I urge you to work with the chiefs and religious bodies in your districts and with civil society to restore the social contract with our people. The legitimacy and authority of the state must be felt not only in law, but in the lived experience of our people. MMDCs, you may be the last batch of MMDCs appointed. The National Review Committee is going round. I'm sure some of you would have been consulted, and it will present its recommendation in August this year. And one of the major items that has been canvassed is the election of DCs. There's no doubt that Ghanaians want their DCs elected. MMDC is elected. Several surveys have shown that they prefer to have your category of political officers elected. So you may be the last dinosaurs who are appointed. Those who succeed you might have to go through elections.
President Mahama also directed all metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives to declare their assets by July 15. He also urged them to make prudent use of the District Assembly's common fund allocated to their respective areas.
We have taken steps to transfer the highest amount of funds in the history of the Fourth Republic to you from the District Assembly's common fund. As the Finance Minister told you, 80% of the District Assembly's Common Fund is coming directly to you. We expect you to ensure the judicious and transparent use of these resources. The funds must be utilized in the interest of our people and not for our creature comforts. The Auditor General and other anti-corruption institutions will be watching your work. And I've said previously, if any of these institutions starts investigating you, you don't expect me to interfere on your behalf. In the meantime, I wish to remind you that you are among the office holders required to declare your assets. And so I expect that by July 15th, all of you would have declared your assets.
President John Dramani Mahama there.
Let's go to the phone and speak to Dr. Richard Fiadomo. He's the president of the Chamber of Local Governance, on the decision by the president, or the announcement by the president that we may have the election of MMDCs very soon. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to our cherished listeners and viewers.
We are here again. I remember the last time there was a conversation to have the election of MMDCs, but then it didn't happen. Now the president has announced that is a very big push within the constitutional amendment process. Does it mean it's going to be different from what we earlier, had during the Akufo-Addo administration?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, it's going to be different. If you realize what happened during Akufo-Addo's era was the fact that they wanted to make the local governance system partisan, after which they were going to elect MMDC. So they were keen on having Article 55+3 of Ghana's constitution, which is an entrenched clause. So that was why we were going for a referendum ahead of the election of MMDCs. But this time around, what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC is seeking to do with respect to the election of the MMDCs, they want to take the power to appoint or nominate persons for MMDAs to ask the citizens to do. And for that to be done, Article 243 Clause 1 of Ghana's Constitution, it what mandates the president to nominate or appoint MMDCs. So once that is amended through a two-thirds majority in Parliament, then the power will be taken from the president. Then it will be given to you and I to now decide who should become our chief executive. So that is the difference. The MPP wanted to make the local governance system partisan first before they went to tackle Article 243. NDC is going to tackle Article 243 first and allow chief executive to be elected, albeit on non-partisan basis.
But Doc, if it is the president who nominates these individuals before they are voted for, the issue of partisan cannot go away there, because the president is a political figure. He comes on the ticket of a political party. So why do we want to take away the partisan part out of it when it's the president who is doing the nomination?
No, my brother. I'm telling you the current status quo. Now, when Article 243 Clause 1 of Ghana's Constitution is amended, 246 will equally be amended. So now it will not be the president nominating anybody to contest for elections. So just as we do the district assembly elections, when the time is due, the electoral commission or electoral commissioner will come out with a timetable and give definite timelines as to when forms are going to be picked, as to when forms are going to be returned, as to when those forms are going to be vetted, as to when those people are going to present or campaign, as to when the actual election is going to be done. So the amendment that will ensue or will happen will not give the president any chance to even name somebody or show his interest, because it's going to be a non-partisan system, and we are going to open nominations for interested parties to, as it were, go and file. So just as we elect assembly members, I have contested election as assembly member before. I saw myself to be capable to do the work, and then I went to pick a form. Thankfully, I was elected. That is what is going to happen to the chief executive as well. So the power is completely going to be taken away from the president, and the president will not have a say as to who become a chief executive going forward.
But Doc, the assembly elections, as you mentioned, we've seen some partisan involvement in it. We can't really run away from the partisan politics of it, because even in these assembly, you see assembly members publicly displaying, their posters with the colors or symbols of political party, and so we can't really run away from the partisan politics of it.
You see, for me, I always say, when we talk about partisanship, carefully read Article 55 Clause 3 of Ghana's Constitution. It says that when it comes to district level elections, no political party should sponsor a candidate. And the underlying word here is sponsorship. And when we say a political party sponsoring a candidate, then it is that political party that is filing for and on behalf of that candidate at the Electoral Commission. So if you see all the 276 MPs that we have, apart from the independent candidates that are in Parliament, the rest of all of them were either sponsored by the NDC or the FDC, and they are in Parliament on the ticket of the political party. But you see, I am a Christian, I am a Muslim, I'm a traditionalist, and I'm going for a non-partisan election. I expect Christians to support me. I expect Muslims to support me. I expect traditional authorities to support me. If I belong to the Rotary Club, I expect them to support me. If I belong to any identifiable body, I expect them to support me. So this issue, so if I belong to the NDC, MPP, or CTP, I want the NDC members to vote because the election that I'm going for is non-partisan. But I'm a member of the NDC, member of the MPP, or the Movement for Change. My brother, let me give you a typical example. As for partisan politics, it is always there. As to whether what the law says is what you should allow to happen. You know that prior to the NDC winning power, the Supreme Court judges that were selected or nominated by Akufo-Addo to have gone through the process, you know that as we speak, none of them were nominated by the NDC, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Do you know what that means? It also tells you that there is some partisan consideration when you are even selecting Supreme Court judges. So the partisan consideration will always be there. But the question is, what does the law say? The law says that political parties should not sponsor. So if anybody uses NDC color, MPP color, that does not necessarily make it partisan. The MPP, the symbol of the MPP is the elephant, and the symbol of the NDC is the umbrella. So have you seen any assembly member using the umbrella or elephant in the country before? No. So for me, that issue of partisanship at that level, it is within the judiciary, it is everywhere. So the perfect example I'm giving to you and Ghanaians is that the Supreme Court judges that Akufo-Addo wanted to send to Parliament are not the same. Not even one of them was nominated by John Dramani Mahama. So when it comes to partisan consideration, it will always be there, but that is not what the law says.
Doug, how different will an election of an MMDE or MDA be different from the appointment? What difference? How different will it be?
Number one, it will give them security of tenure. You know, these MMDCs that are undergoing the orientation, tomorrow, if it is the pleasure of the president, he can even sack them before they finish the orientation. So that security of tenure is there. Number two, we have a situation whereby the chief executive who will be elected will know that their source of power is from the people and no longer from the president. The kind of you saw how the current MMDCs were selected. They were selected through a partisan process. So at the end of the day, the political party has a certain influence over them today as we speak. So if you have a situation where the general secretary wants something done to the benefit of the NDC, you are likely to see the chief executive doing it because it's a partisan issue. But if you are elected by the people, no political party will want to play any football with any chief executive. Number three, the chief executive can now plan because you know that you have a fixed term of office, 4 years. So you can budget and plan towards 4 years. But as we speak today, many of the chief executives do not get into any long-term planning because as they are there, they cannot tell their tomorrow. So those are some of the considerations and the benefits that you and I will get if we allow our chief executives to be elected. They will now be accountable to you and I and not accountable to their constituency executives, to their regional executives, to their national executives, or even to the president. So those are some of the things that are going to be of benefit to you and I if we are given the chance to elect our own chief executives.
Finally, before I let you go, Doug, in an instance where you have a DC elected in the stronghold or say the opposing stronghold of the government in power, is it not going to sabotage the work of government?
Not at all. You see, right now as we speak, the government has come out with guidelines for the utilization of the common fund. So that money is coming from the central government. So whether you are, yes, it's on non-partisan basis, but whether you have an affinity towards the MPP, NDC, CPP, and you are elected chief executive, you have no option that to comply with the guidelines as approved by cabinet. So this issue of sabotage will not come in because at the end of the day, it is the same political parties that are there that will go and vote for you on non-partisan basis. So your allegiance is not towards them. So if, for example, today NDC is in government and you are an MPP person and you are lucky to have been elected, what sabotage are you going to do? Because at the end of the day, it is not the MPP that puts you there, it is the people. So it is the people after 4 years, they will come and vote, not a partisan NDC or MPP people who will come and vote for you. So I don't foresee any sabotage on the part of any chief executive who will not even be affiliated to the NDC, assuming the election happens during the NDC era.
Doc, thank you very much for your time. Dr. Richard Fiadumo is the president of the Chamber of Local Governance. Inu has some more stories.
The Human Rights Court has dismissed an application by former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta seeking to prevent the office of the Special Prosecutor from declaring him wanted. Mr. Ofori-Atta, who is under investigation by the OSP for alleged acts of corruption, had asked the court to restrain the OSP from issuing a wanted notice and circulating his image online. Currently, Interpol has listed Ghana's former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, as wanted on its official website. This followed a notice from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, which redeclared Ofori-Atta as wanted after he failed to appear for a scheduled interrogation in June. Now, tensions flared during the vetting of Supreme Court Justice nominee Hafizata Amaleboba as Minority Leader Alexander Penyomarkin engaged in a heated exchange with Appointments Committee Chairman Bernard Ahiafo over questions on presidential sanctions. The confrontation erupted after Mr. Penyomarkin pressed Justice Amaleboba on whether President John Mahama's financial penalties against ministers who failed to declare assets encroached on the constitutional mandate of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. The nominee had earlier said she has no issues on the president's actions, arguing that administrative fines did not conflict with Shra's role. Dissatisfied with her response, Alexander Penyomarkin rephrased his question, demanding clarity on potential constitutional risks. But Chairman Ahiafo intervened, ruling that the question had already been answered and directing the minority leader to move on.
Be the accompanying risk of allowing a sitting president to set the punishment for non-declaration of assets, particularly in the absence of an independent investigation or an independent body constituted for that purpose. What do you think are the constitutional risks?
Honorable Minority Leader, is it not the same question that you are coming back to ask? Same question has been asked and answers provided. So for me, it is the same question that you are rephrasing. So the answer, you may ask another question, please.
Chairman, if you want to find a way to stop this vetting, I will yield to you. Stop what you are doing. The whole country is watching you. Stop what you are doing. Stop what you are doing. If you want us to fold up, I'm not here to debate with you. I'll fold, discharge her, let us go. If that's what you want to achieve, I've seen it all. This drama, but whatever precedent, if not 4 years, 12 years, 20 years, it will come back and haunt this house. No problem. If you are strategically planning that a Supreme Court nominee should not go through this thing, so be it. But this question is not out of order. I am putting a question. Please pay attention to my question. Pay attention to my question. Pay attention to the question I'm asking. I'm not asking the same question. I've done research, I've worked overnight. I left this parliament, my office at 12 a.m. Go back here at 6. I know what I am asking. I'm not saying the same thing. For the avoidance of doubt, I repeat my question. What are
Honorable, I have a short response.
Please respond.
The public is not only watching me, it's watching all of us. And the jury will be out there. I cannot be intimidated by you. I'm a man with indomitable spirit. I still rule that a question has been asked. The nominee will not answer this question again. Pose another question.
Honorable nominee,
You heard an exchange between Minority Leader Alexander Penyamakin and Appointments Committee Chairman Bernard Ahiafo.
You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi and I'm here with Eno Safo. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll do more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game of choices. Listen with rapt attention. Round 1, question 1. Elevator or stairs?
Stairs.
Now the second question. Less than 4 hours or at least 6 hours of sleep at night?
At least 6 hours of sleep.
The last question. Yomi yogurt or...
Yomi yogurt, of course.
Oh, I'm not done.
No need. That's my choice. Yomi yogurt.
Life is full of choices. Always remember that the choices we make today shape our tomorrow. Whether it's a morning start, a midday snack, or a dessert, our delicious Yomi yogurt is here to nourish you. Yomi, a nourishing choice. This advert is FDA approved.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Hello?
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper...
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no!
But I had to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go. From back in the day, when Afro hair was trending and children had to queue to play Kojo's video game, Fun Milk was always irresistible. Today, it's an after-school source of refreshment. For you stuck in traffic and for us looking to cool off under the sun, the invitation is always that sound. So, whatever your choice, Fun Milk quality products keeps you cool and refreshed. Fun Milk triggers so much fun and excitement with just a blast of a horn. Fun Milk, spreading joy to everyone. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. The National Identification Authority is warning institutions, especially banks, to stop photocopying Ghana cards. The NIA criticized the continued reliance on visual checks instead of their biometric system, warning that such methods compromise the integrity of the identification process and expose individuals' personal information to misuse. At a press briefing, NIA's head of corporate affairs, Williams Ampoma Emmanuel Dallas, says the practice undermines data security.
And William Ampoma joins us on the telephone line for a short conversation on this matter. Willie, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me.
Exactly what do you mean by that banks should stop, taking Ghana cards and doing photocopy? Does it mean if I walk into a bank and the bank demand that I bring my Ghana card, I should refuse, I shouldn't give it to them?
Right, so thank you once again. As far back as 3rd March 2025, the Bank of Ghana issued a statement warning all financial institutions to stop ocular verification, that is the physical verification of the Ghana card. And for this minute, some banks are still engaged in ocular verification. And so at our press briefing, we sought to warn these banks for the very last time that if you are not onboarded on the NIA system, you can get to us, we'll get you onboarded so you can do proper biometric verification. We are contemplating on amending our laws to input in it a fine so that any financial institution that goes against the rules for the biometric verification will pay a fine. We believe that that will serve as a deterrent to other banks to stop the ocular verification. We also use the medium to, as it were, appeal to the general public to resist any attempts by these financial institutions to make photocopies of their Ghana cards. And by this big platform, let me appeal to Ghanaians once more that if you visit any institution to transact a business and they demand for your physical Ghana card, kindly resist that attempt. All they need is the code on the Ghana card. Once you have that on the paper, or even you can hold the Ghana card and mention the numbers to them, they should be able to verify you so you go through whatever business you want to transact with them.
But what if I walk into a bank and they demand a card, and because I'm desperate in need of money, and I insist that I won't give it to you, and they also say, well, if you don't give it to us, we will not give you your money. It will be a difficult, moment or position for you. So obviously, you will yield to that.
Well, as I said earlier, there is a warning from the Bank of Ghana. So no bank will even go on that tangent with a client. But because most of these clients oblige to such requests, I am sure that is why some banks are so adamant in going the proper way to verify their customers.
Hello, William.
No, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. So, as I was saying, it will not stop the banks from attending to the client. Rather, the banks will know that these clients are now sophisticated and will not allow them to do that which is not right.
Okay. All right. William, thank you very much. William Amponsa is Head of Corporate Affairs at the National Identification Authority. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra, and who has some more stories.
A member of the NDC communications team, Hamza Suhini, has criticized the persistent failure of state institutions to honor financial obligations, blaming it on over-reliance on government bailouts. His remarks come after the Electricity Company of Ghana disconnected Ghana Water Limited over an almost 1 billion debt. Speaking on Channel 1 TV, Hamza Suhini says many agencies ignore their debts, expecting government's intervention. When ECG threatened disconnection, he called for more financial discipline across state institutions.
Sometimes I think that we unnecessarily overburden central government in terms of even how we decide to distribute our criticisms. Because I have always argued that we have reached a stage in this country where chief executives must themselves be held accountable for their actions. Let us see how they are running their respective organizations. And so we can judge them accordingly. But this lazy approach of lumping everything on the doorstep of government creates that protective layer for many of them to continue to be inefficient. Especially even when they are appointed to bring some kind of meaningful transformation to these sectors. So I would want to see how SIGA, going ahead, would be able to evaluate the performance of these current CEOs in line with the vision of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. That commitment to ensuring that they work according to their mandate without unnecessary or undue interference.
That was a member of the NDC communication team, Hamza Suhini. Exhibitors at the upcoming Agri Fair, the largest gathering of agricultural players, have assured attendees of fresh produce sold at affordable farm gate prices. The 3-day exhibition is set to run from Friday, June 20 to Sunday, June 22 at the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park in Accra. The fair will bring together commercial farmers, agri-tech innovators, input suppliers, agro-processors, distributors and consumers to connect, share ideas and showcase innovations. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, some exhibitors noted that patrons will have the freedom to choose from a wide variety of produce on display.
As many as the customers demand, will supply, because we have a car standby.
Okay. To be going and coming. I see.
Our challenge might be the waste issue. And our chicken is, you see, when we started, we were having difficulty with how to preserve the chicken. We're using ordinary freezers. But now we are able to install cold rooms in our facility.
Wow.
And when we process the chicken and I stand by and I watch the chicken, Charlie,
wow,
it's so beautiful.
Thank you. Beautiful chicken. Allah.
Assuming food is 1.5 kilo to be 75 cedis.
1.5 kilo is 75.
2 kilos to be
100 cedis. So a kilo is 50.
50 cedis.
But the live chicken, how much?
The live chicken at the fair, if somebody want to buy the live,
yes,
we weigh and give you.
You weigh the live chicken?
Yes, and take about a third of the price.
Our juice prices vary on the market, depending on where you are getting it. If you go to the high standpoint, you definitely get it more expensive. But we are bringing it at factory price.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. So how will we recognize that it is Blue Skies?
Well, our logo will be there, the bird in the air, and I'm sure it will be more conspicuous at the place, and we would want everybody to come. And this is a platform where we are bringing these rich products to you. Thanks to Citi FM and Channel 1. The truth is that all the gaps, the traveling, the difficulty in traveling on the road to Insawam to even our juice bar to go and buy or meet in our track somewhere, we are bringing it to you. Just come to the fair.
You'll be there for all the 3 days.
Trust me, we'll be there.
You heard the managing director for Pop Farms, Philip Amponsa, and the head of Foundation and Brand Communications, Blue Skies, Alistair G. Mate.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you ready to lead like never before?
Ready to master the art of strategy and inspire teams that thrive?
It's the Management Bootcamp 2025.
An exclusive high-impact training for mid to senior pros.
Learn from Ghana's finest industry minds, brought to you by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM.
From the trusted voices of excellence, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, comes an elite training experience designed to sharpen your strategy, leadership, and communication.
Make a date for the Management Bootcamp 2025 from Sunday the 22nd of June to Saturday the 28th of June 2025. The venue is the Platinum Bay and Passion Base Hotels.
Call 0242-011-424 to register now.
The Management Bootcamp 2025. Lead forward. The Management Bootcamp 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inosa Fulet. Settle for the details. Ghana's year-on-year producer price inflation sharply declined to 10.2% in May 2025, down from 18.5% in April, the lowest level since November 2023, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. On a month-on-month basis, producers earned 4.2% less on average, marking a significant deflation in ex-factory prices. The decline was driven primarily by mining and quarrying and manufacturing, which together accounted for 78.7% of the slowdown. With inflation easing, businesses are urged to review cost structures, adjust prices competitively, and reconsider paused investments. A survey of 1,795 consumers across Ghana's 10 regions has revealed widespread problems with automated teller machines, prompting consumer advocacy group Cuts International to call on the Bank of Ghana to fast-track urgent regulatory intervention. According to the 2025 State of the Ghanaian Consumer Report by Cuts International, 71% of respondents experienced ATM-related issues over the past 3 months. Daniel Odromensa has more.
These problems included power outages and cash shortages. Among those affected, 44% had to use ATMs operated by other banks, with 68% of them reporting they were not informed of additional charges prior to completing their transactions. The report identifies a lack of transparency in ATM fee disclosures, which contravenes the BOG's consumer protection directives. In many cases, fees were only discovered through debit alerts or bank statements rather than being displayed on screen during transactions. CATS notes that while ATMs have reduced operational costs for banks by decreasing reliance on physical branches and human tellers, these efficiencies have not translated into cost savings for consumers. Instead, users often face ATM maintenance charges and per transaction fees, even when using their own bank's machines. In response to these findings, CAT has proposed 4 key regulatory reforms: eliminate monthly ATM card maintenance fees for customers primarily using their own bank's ATMs, require all ATMs to clearly display applicable fees before a transaction is finalized, set and enforce minimum ATM uptime standards with penalties or compensation for non-compliance.
That was a Business Desk report filed by Daniel Odro-Mensah. The management of Citi FM and Channel 1 TV has paid a courtesy visit to the leadership of Universal Merchant Bank as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen institutional collaboration and explore new areas of partnership. The visit forms part of the media organization's broader engagement with key financial institutions aimed at fostering cross-sector cooperation to support national development.
The delegation from Citi FM Channel 1 TV included Managing Director Samuel Atamensa, General Manager Bernard Avle, Head of News Vivian Kailoko, Business Development Manager Omani Mensa Bonsu, Head of Events and Partnerships Frema Edunyame, and Sales Manager Miriam Ivy Odro. Discussions during the meeting focused on strategic areas for collaboration and reinforcing the long-standing relationship between the two organizations. Speaking at the meeting, General Manager of Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Bernard Avle, congratulated Dr. Philip Otimensa on his appointment as Chief Executive Officer of UMB and commended the bank's contribution as an indigenous financial institution towards Ghana's economic recovery.
As an indigenous bank, you have a very strategic role to play in the country because capital is also very cultural. So we expect that as the macroeconomy improves and your team takes important decisions about where to support, Ghana's recovery will be permanent. So we're really willing you on, and we're here to offer our platform for a number of things, for intellectual discourse around the financial sector, and also to activate meetings with potential clients, and then also to assure the general public that the financial sector is working well.
For his part, Dr. Philip Otimensa welcomed the delegation and expressed appreciation for the visit. He disclosed that UMB is currently undergoing a series of reforms under its new leadership aimed at repositioning the bank to better serve evolving needs of Ghana's banking sector.
We are happy to welcome the Channel 1 group with Citi FM. We are very happy to welcome you, and I'm here with my ESCO members. And UMB is going through transformation based on the leadership change that has happened. And our vision has not changed. We want to be a top-tier bank. Years ago, we used to be a top-tier bank. Things changed, but that's part of the cycle of a business. But we are coming back very strongly. And one way that we want to differentiate ourselves in the market is through service quality.
That was the Managing Director of UMB, Dr. Philip Utimensa, ending that report filed by Daniel Sakiti. Sponsors of this year's Agri-Fair say they are prepared to extend support for farmers as part of efforts to boost food self-sufficiency in Ghana. The Agri-Fair, slated for June 20 to 22 at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park in Accra, will bring together key stakeholders across the agricultural value chain for an exhibition and sale of farm produce. Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Development Bank Ghana, a key sponsor of the event, John Ziga, says it is leveraging the Agri-Fair to identify and support critical actors within the agriculture sector.
In the agri-business, in terms of from production, from the beginning, in terms of the farmer, raw agric, through agro-processing to finished goods, it needs patient capital. But the commercial banks are not able to provide this patient capital. So we come in to plug into that hole, that we give patient capital to our commercial banks, and they in turn give this capital to the farmers and to the agro-processors. So we are able to provide capital in terms of loans up to 10 years, whereas our commercial banks would normally want to give loans in the short term, 2 years to 3 years. We are able to partner our commercial banks, give them loans up to 10 to 15 years to be able to give to these our farmers, because agro production needs a lot of time and a lot of patience. And we think that if we plug in and give that support to our farmers, that kind of support to our processors, we would be food sufficient as a country.
John Ziga is Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Development Bank Ghana. Let's now hear from CEO of Agri Impact Group, Daniel Akwe, who says agriculture can be leveraged to curb unemployment.
If you are importing, let's say, $600 million of rice, convert that into agricultural production and you see the number of jobs that rice alone can create. If we are to develop the infrastructure, the heavy lifting one is done by government and private sector leverages on that one. Rice alone can give us over 1 million jobs. The 326,000 jobs that we are talking about, for us, it's not even much. But we are looking at 4 value chains: rice, soya, poultry, and tomatoes. Now, if you look at rice from north all the way down, there are areas that we can grow rice. You can go to Asin area in central region, you go to Volta region, the Afajato, the Ketu areas there, Oti region, go to north, go to Ashanti, go to Ahafu. Almost everywhere there's a place for you to grow rice.
Daniel Akwe is CEO of Agri Impact Group. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inusafo. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hot pepper powder. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you ready to lead like never before?
Ready to master the art of strategy and inspire teams that thrive?
It's the Management Bootcamp 2025.
An exclusive high-impact training for mid to senior pros.
Learn from Ghana's finest industry minds, brought to you by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM.
From the trusted voices of excellence, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV comes an elite training experience designed to sharpen your strategy, leadership, and communication.
Make a date for the Management Bootcamp 2025 from Sunday the 22nd of June to Saturday the 28th of June 2025. The venue is the Platinum Bay and Passion Base Hotels.
Call 0242-011-424 to register now.
The Management Bootcamp 2025. Lead forward. The Management Bootcamp 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Go me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mindset be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
From back in the day when Afro hair was trending and children had to queue to play Kojo's video game, Fun Milk was always irresistible. Today, it's an after-school source of refreshment. For you stuck in traffic and for us looking to cool off under the sun, the invitation is always that sound. So, whatever your choice, Fun Milk quality product keeps you cool and refreshed. Fun Milk triggers so much fun and excitement with just a blast of a horn. Fun Milk, spreading joy to everyone. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Listen, listening to Eyewitness News on Citi 97.3 FM, and this is Point Blank. On Point Blank tonight, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, was in Parliament earlier today to defend government decision to close down Ghana's embassy in Washington on the back of some issues at the embassy. He was in Parliament today to make an official statement on the matter and also take questions from members of Parliament over government decision to close down the embassy for some few days. Let's go to Parliament and listen to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa.
Well, Right Honourable Speaker, I have the honor to present to Parliament a comprehensive update on the recent developments regarding Ghana's diplomatic mission in Washington, D.C., United States of America. As members of this August House may be aware, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs took an extraordinary but necessary step on the 26th of May 2025 to temporarily close the mission in Washington, D.C. and recall staff to Accra following reports of grave legal infractions. This decision was made after thorough deliberations and prompted by incriminating findings from a special audit team, which uncovered instances of fraud, conflict of interest, and corruption, particularly involving visa processing and the unauthorized activities of a third-party agent operating under the name Ghana Travel Consultants, GTC. With the full support of His Excellency the President, this action marked our government's unwavering stance against corruption and our commitment to protect the integrity and the image of our foreign service. Right Honourable Speaker, the special audit team which I set up was made up of senior management of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They uncovered a complex web of corruption that compromised the integrity and efficiency of the embassy's operations. Among the findings are the unlawful activities and conflict of interest involving one Mr. Fred Kwating, who was formerly employed on August 11, 2017, according to our records at the ministry, as an information technology officer. Mr. Kwating continued to work with the mission with a renewal of annual temporary appointments. It has also emerged that Mr. Fred Kwating was not qualified to be employed as a local staff, as he does not possess the appropriate legal status to be employed in the USA. Mr. Speaker, additionally, the investigations revealed that Mr. Kwating is the owner and main operator of Ghana Travel Consultants. The company was later mysteriously contracted to provide exclusive courier handling for the mission, effective 1st January 2023, by the former ambassador, Her Excellency Hajia Alima Mahama. The team discovered that this situation started as far back as 2019. Therefore, the 2023 contract only sought to legitimize what was palpably wrong. This dual role as IT contract staff and at the same time service provider, where he illegally redirects applicants to his own company, GTC, created a criminally unacceptable situation where personal interest was clearly prioritized over official duties to the detriment of the mission's objectives and public trust. Mr. Speaker, investigations have revealed that on 19th November 2019, Mr. Fred Kwating was issued a formal query when the then head of Chancery, Her Excellency Genevieve Akpalu, who is now the head of mission or the ambassador at Ghana's embassy in Tokyo, Japan. She first discovered this illegal link on the website. It is curious that not much appeared to have happened after that query, as shockingly, Mr. Kwating became bolder with his unlawful activities, which continued after more than 6 years. Mr. Speaker, I have here with me a copy of the 2019 query, and with your permission, Mr. Speaker, I'll read the query. Dated 19 November 2019, signed by Genevieve Akpalu, Minister Head of Chancery, and it reads, Dear Sir, query. It has come to the notice of management of the embassy that in September 2019, you modified the embassy's website in respect of visa passport acquisition process without the necessary express approval. Will you explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against you for taking this unilateral, important decision? Your response should reach the undersigned not later than close of work on Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. Mr. Speaker, it remains a mystery how nothing happened after this query on the 19th of November 2019. Mr. Speaker, the mission's engagement of GTC was characterized by an irregular procurement process and a blatant disregard for the provisions of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, as amended by Act 914. Furthermore, the contract between the mission and GTC, Financial Administration Regulations 2004, LI 1802. Mr. Speaker, this lack of adherence to established protocols undermines the principles of accountability and good governance that we strive to uphold in our diplomatic missions. Nonetheless, the head of consular section, who has oversight responsibilities for all consular activities, including visa and passport processing, and the head of Chancery, cannot reasonably claim to have been unaware of the prevailing circumstances. Thus, their failure to perform in a proper manner the duties imposed on them contravened regulations, undermined efficient conduct, and brought the image and the good name of the Republic of Ghana into disrepute. According to their own account, GTC had been depositing unspecified amounts into an unauthorized welfare account being operated by the mission. And these payments were not subject to audit until the payments were discontinued. This fact was known to the staff of the mission, and the said funds were used for unofficial activities by the mission on the blind side of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The team discovered that GTC's website was directly linked to the mission's website for courier services, providing no alternative options to applicants. This unauthorized and illegal arrangement not only limited the applicant's choice, but also compelled the applicants to opt for the courier service provided by Mr. Fred Kwarteng. Right Honourable Speaker, it is noteworthy that Fred Kwarteng's company operates from offices located about a 40-minute drive from the embassy, raising concerns regarding the nature of this arrangement and the extent of oversight exercised by the embassy. While the company operates a dedicated driver service that picks up and drops off passports between GTC and the mission, applicants have the option to drop off and collect their documents in person at GTC. It remains a mystery how GTC was allowed to become an annex of our embassy in Washington, D.C. Mr. Speaker, in 2020, the ministry entered an agreement with EMH Global, which was renewed in 2024, to standardize the websites of selected missions, including the Washington mission. However, these attempts were rebuffed by the Washington mission to avoid accountability and transparency. Even though Ghana paid for this contract to standardize all websites, only the Washington, D.C. website was not standardized and reconfigured. Everything was done by staff of the mission to prevent EMH Global to carry out their legitimate contract, which they had earned by the previous government. Mr. Speaker, to date, that synchronization has not been done. Had it been done, the link used to redirect applicants to GTC's website for the illicit business would have been curtailed. It cannot, therefore, be justifiably claimed that this action was executed at the mission by a lone wolf at the lower echelons of the mission's hierarchy. Mr. Speaker, you will agree with me that all service-related revenue must be managed in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, and establish ministry protocols under the Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provisions Act 2022, Act 1080, which was passed by this esteemed House. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the mission adopted a full online mailing system for visa and passport dispatch. Again, this was managed by Mr. Fred Kwarteng. Under this arrangement, applicants were offered delivery options via FedEx and USPS, for which they were charged a whopping $29.75 United States dollars each. Additionally, Mr. Kwarteng's company, GTC, also introduced a new service where he invited applicants to come for assistance in completing visa and passport forms, where he charged them between 60 and 100 United States dollars per applicant. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that 99% of all applicants utilize the services of GTC, meaning 99% of all applicants paid an extra, unauthorized, illegal, a figure not approved by this House under our fees and charges law, between $29 and $100. Mr. Speaker, investigations conducted by the top management of our ministry reveals that GTC dispatched between 150 to 350 visas and passports daily. Therefore, on average, about 250 visas and passports were dispatched daily by GTC. Right Honourable Speaker, this implies that yearly GTC dispatch approximately 62,500 visas and passports. Mr. Fred Kwarteng was therefore raking an estimated $1,859,375 United States dollars annually for courier services alone. Mr. Speaker, you can comprehend the substantial sum he earns annually after adding fees for assisting applicants in completing their visa and passport forms, for which he charged between $60 and $100. By conservative analysis, Mr. Fred Kwarteng made about $4.8 million annually from his unlawful enterprise. Mr. Speaker, it is important to emphasize that there was no share, there was no revenue sharing arrangement with the ministry. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs had no share. This $4.8 million was controlled totally by Mr. Fred Kwarteng. Mr. Speaker, given that these are funds that were derived, Mr. Speaker, given that these are funds that were derived from unauthorized operations, it has become imperative to invite the Economic and Organized Crime Office and the Attorney General to investigate, trace the proceeds, and prosecute Mr. Fred Kwarteng and his collaborators as instructed by
Minister,
President Mahama.
Minister,
this we have promptly done.
Minister, just hold on. It's a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, let me apologize to the Minister for interrupting him. But I have a copy of the statement he distributed to us. And I've been following him. It seems the Minister is reading a different statement from what we have. Because in the statement I have, Mr. Speaker, page 4. Page 4.
Hold on.
He says the person raked in an estimated $1.8 million. But the Minister is saying $4 million. So I want us to reconcile that. I have a different statement.
Honorable Abujinapo, just about a year ago, you used to be here.
Yes.
And as a minister...
Yeah. No, what I have is different. The statement I have... Mr. Speaker, I just want to be sure we are on the same page with the minister. The statement that was distributed is different from the statement the minister is being read, is reading to us. That's my issue.
It's okay. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I encourage the respected ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee to pay attention to paragraph 17. It's the same statement I'm reading. So the 1.8 million is for the courier service, and then the $4.8 million is where he adds it's all there. Paragraph 17.
Honorable.
Let me read it again. Let me read it again for you. You don't have paragraph 17? You don't? Let me read paragraph 17 for you.
Yes, go on.
I'm reading paragraph 17 again for emphasis.
Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzato-Ablakwa addressing members of parliament on recent developments at Ghana's embassy in Washington. And this is where we bring the curtain down to another exciting edition of Point Blank and Eyewitness News that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier you heard Eno Safo. The show produced by Beverly London and Juliana Odame. Technical assistant Daniel Squashi. So we're coming away again tomorrow. Good evening.